In a move that stunned the world, the United States Supreme Court has delivered a decision that few saw coming. The justices have overturned President Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs, a policy that had become a defining feature of his administration's approach to global trade. This unexpected decision marks a dramatic turning point in a trade war that has shaped global relations and rattled financial markets for years. But the ruling isn't just about money or economics. It's about the very foundation of American power. Who gets to make the biggest decisions that affect the nation's economy, the president or Congress? The Supreme Court has now redrawn those lines of authority, setting a new precedent with consequences that will echo for years to come. The timing could not be more dramatic. US-China tensions had just reignited, with both sides threatening new restrictions and retaliatory measures. Suddenly, the court's decision forced everyone, governments, businesses, and consumers alike, to rethink their next move and reconsider their strategies. For years, companies shifted supply chains, rerouted shipments, and made costly adjustments to adapt to the tariffs. Meanwhile, consumers paid higher prices for everyday goods, feeling the impact of these policies at the checkout counter. Now, all those changes are in question, and uncertainty ripples through every level of the economy. The world faces the massive task of untangling an economic knot tied over several years, with no easy solutions in sight. This single court decision has reset the global economic stage, sending shockwaves through boardrooms and government halls worldwide. The shockwaves are immediate, and the world is watching to see what comes next, as leaders scramble to respond. The future of international trade, and the balance of power in Washington, has just been rewritten in a single historic moment. The story is only beginning, and its outcome will shape the world for years to come. Tariffs are taxes on imported goods, making foreign products more expensive and encouraging people to buy domestic. President Trump made tariffs central to his economic strategy, arguing that countries like China were taking advantage of the US and hurting American jobs. By imposing high tariffs on steel, aluminum, and thousands of products, Trump aimed to protect American industries and pressure other countries to change their trade rules. This aggressive approach became known as a trade war. Trump used his executive authority to act quickly, targeting not just China, but also US allies. The goal forced new trade deals that favored America. The result, uncertainty for businesses and consumers, and a global economy on edge. Tariffs became a high-stakes gamble, one that has now been upended by the Supreme Court. The debate over their effectiveness is far from over. The fight over Trump's tariffs began in lower courts, as American businesses challenged the president's authority. Companies argued that only Congress can impose such sweeping taxes, citing the Constitution's Commerce Clause. Lawsuits claimed Trump misused emergency powers, meant for true national crises, not trade disputes. Lower courts often sided with businesses, ruling the president had overstepped. The administration fought back, insisting economic security is national security and the president needs flexibility. The legal battle escalated, with billions at stake and the separation of powers on the line. When appeals courts struck down key tariffs, the case raced to the Supreme Court. The stakes, not just tariffs, but the very limits of presidential power. The court's sudden decision has ended a bitter legal struggle and set a new precedent for American trade policy. The outcome will shape how future presidents and Congress share economic power. The legal landscape for trade has changed overnight. The Supreme Court ruled the president exceeded his authority, siding with lower courts. The justices found that emergency laws like the IEEPA weren't meant for long-term trade policy. The power to set tariffs and regulate commerce, they said, belongs to Congress. The court acknowledged the disruption this would cause. Billions in tariffs collected, global supply chains reshaped, but upholding the Constitution's separation of powers took priority. The ruling warns against letting any president bypass Congress on massive economic decisions. The message is clear. Trade and tax policy require checks and balances. The decision sets a powerful precedent for the future. The Supreme Court's decision sent global markets into a frenzy. Stock indices in London, New York, and Tokyo surged as investors anticipated a boost to global trade. Companies hit hardest by tariffs, manufacturers and retailers saw their shares soar. Lower import costs promised higher profits and cheaper goods, but not everyone benefited. U.S. steel and aluminum producers, once shielded by tariffs, saw their stocks plunge. The U.S. dollar swung wildly, first rising on optimism, then falling as traders worried about the cost of refunding billions in tariffs. The Chinese yuan strengthened, reflecting hopes for renewed exports to America. Currency markets were volatile, with prices shifting by the minute. For a few chaotic hours, winners and losers emerged across the financial world. The decision's impact was immediate, dramatic, and global. Investors scrambled to adapt to a new reality. The economic landscape had changed in an instant. The world's financial system is still absorbing the shock. For American consumers, the end of tariffs could mean lower prices on everyday goods, electronics, furniture, and a wide range of household items that fill our daily lives. Clothing, shoes, and even sporting goods could become more affordable, stretching family budgets further and making shopping trips a little less stressful. Shoppers had been paying the price for tariffs. Now, relief may be on the way, with the potential for more choices and better deals on store shelves. For businesses that import parts or products, costs will drop, boosting competitiveness and possibly leading to more jobs, higher wages, and expanded operations. Many companies may also receive massive refunds for tariffs already paid, injecting billions back into the economy and giving businesses more capital to invest in growth and innovation. But not all news is good. Some sectors will face new challenges as the market shifts. U.S. industries once protected by tariffs, like steel and aluminum, now face tough competition from cheaper imports, putting pressure on American manufacturers. Some may see profits fall or jobs lost, as factories struggle to keep up with lower-priced foreign goods and shifting demand. The government faces a huge financial headache, refunding up to half of the $158 billion collected in tariffs and losing a major revenue stream that helped fund public programs. The national budget will feel the strain, forcing tough choices ahead and sparking debates over spending priorities. The ripple effects will be felt in every corner of the economy, from big cities to rural communities. Consumers, businesses, and the government all face a new financial reality, with both opportunities and risks on the horizon. The benefits and challenges of this decision will play out for years, shaping the future of American industry and family finances alike. The economic reset is just beginning, and its full impact remains to be seen. The stakes for American wallets and industries couldn't be higher as the nation enters this new chapter. With this ruling, Congress regains control over trade policy. Major tariffs now require debate and legislation. This marks a significant shift in how the United States approaches its economic relationships with the world. Instead of swift executive action, every major change will now be subject to public scrutiny and the checks and balances of the legislative process. Sudden, sweeping changes will be harder, bringing more predictability but less flexibility. Businesses and trading partners may find it easier to plan for the future, but adapting quickly to global events could become more challenging for U.S. policymakers. President Trump may seek new legal avenues or push Congress for fresh trade laws, but the process will be slower and more public. The spotlight will be on lawmakers as they debate the nation's economic priorities, making it harder to enact controversial measures without broad support. The U.S.-China relationship stands at a crossroads. The removal of tariffs could open the door to new negotiations. Both sides may see opportunities to reset the tone, but deep-seated tensions and competition for global influence remain. Yet core disputes over technology and market access remain unresolved. Issues like intellectual property, data security, and fair competition continue to fuel mistrust and rivalry between the two economic giants. The world is watching. Will this mark a return to stable, rules-based trade, or just a pause in ongoing conflict? Global markets are reacting, and other nations are recalibrating their own strategies in response to America's new approach. The Trump era's aggressive use of tariffs challenged decades of global economic cooperation. It forced allies and rivals alike to rethink their dependence on U.S. markets and to seek new partnerships. This decision could signal a shift back to multilateralism or spark new battles over national economic security. The balance between open markets and protecting domestic industries is once again at the forefront of global debate. Supply chains and trade alliances will continue to evolve. Companies may diversify their suppliers, and countries may forge new agreements to reduce risk and increase resilience. The future of global trade is uncertain, but the rules have changed. Every nation, business, and worker will need to adapt to this new reality. The next chapter will be written by Congress, not the White House alone. The direction of U.S. trade policy will depend on the choices lawmakers make in the months and years ahead. The world's trading system is at a turning point. What happens next will shape the global economy for generations to come. This Supreme Court decision is more than a headline, it affects the price of your groceries, your car, your phone. For families, it could mean lower costs and more money in their pockets. The ruling is a powerful reminder: no single leader has unchecked power in America. It's a victory for checks and balances, reinforcing that major economic decisions require congressional approval. Globally, the decision signals a return to predictable, rules-based trade and could help repair strained alliances. The court has redrawn the economic and political map, impacting consumers, businesses, and governments worldwide. The consequences will unfold for years, but one thing is clear: the world has changed because of this historic ruling. The story of global trade and American democracy enters a new era.